From primary school to university, artificial intelligence, things like ChatGPT and other large language models has put a real spanner in the works, although not everything was working great beforehand. You see, at university, us lecturers had been using plagiarism detection software for years now to ensure that students, what they were working on was actually their work. Because the primary way that we have been accustomed to assessing their learning was through either their writing or their presentation on a topic. Now, in most cases, we would all universally ignore things like poor grammar, lack of structure. Instead, we looked for things that we could reward, like small parcels of knowledge regurgitated onto a page. We typically avoided doing presentations and anything that wasn't a written format assignment because students don't like them. It gives them anxiety. It makes them uncomfortable. And then what happens? We graduate those students, we graduate them, and we wish them well in their next insurmountable challenge of writing a slick enough CV to get interviewed and then presenting and speaking with enough confidence and clarity to get hired. Good luck. So that's what I mean when I say the development of AI tools like ChatGPT wasn't exactly a spanner in the works, more like the straw that broke the camel's back. In fact, the most accurate way I can describe things like ChatGPT is that they're not exactly one thing. They morph in response to how the user interacts with them. So let's take the average learner. In the hands of the average learner, AI is like a crutch that slowly robs them of their ability to walk. And that's because the average learner incorrectly conceptualizes their education, their journey, as a series of unrelated tasks, a series of grades to get. They need to get the grades because they need the degree and they need the job. They're so focused on the outcome and not the process. And the result is they're almost entirely unaware of, or in some cases willfully ignorant of, the fact that what they really need are the skills, time management, writing, speaking, critical thinking. Therefore, it comes as no surprise for teaching staff when students put in minimal effort and then turn around and actually have the gall to complain about their grades. They'll say things like, but I need a first, but I need an A. Likewise, we cannot pretend to be surprised or horrified when we notice students using AI to complete their assignments. And yet many of us behave in just that way, or worse, we focus on treating the symptom instead of the disease. We introduce alternative formats of assessment, presentations instead of essays, or maybe even podcasts. But the average student simply asks AI to write a script for them, and then they read it from the page, they get their grade, and they go on their merry way. Now, if this is you as a student, and you repeat this enough times, you will eventually reach a point where you're no longer simply robbing yourself of opportunities to develop those key skills. Instead, you are actively contributing to the decay of the skills that you used to possess. So you need to ask yourself something. If AI does everything that I'm supposed to know how to do, then why would anyone hire me? I've said it in a previous video, but many vivas are likely where this will end, where the student must hold an intellectual discussion around their work or their topic of study at regular intervals throughout the academic year. Not only is this a superior way of assessing understanding, in my opinion, it will provide much needed practice for those skills that they need to get through an interview or even just perform well at their job. Now, at the same time, AI also brings hope for the education system. You see, for an intellectual learner, and this is someone who correctly conceptualizes their education as a series of interrelated skill-building opportunities, AI isn't a crutch, it's a whetstone. Something that will continuously sharpen their minds. It can be something we as lecturers have dreamed of providing for students for over 40 years. And what I mean by that is, back in 1984, someone called Benjamin Bloom published research showing that students who received one-to-one tutoring performed 2 whole grades better than students in conventional classroom instruction. In other words, you could take a C student and turn them into an A student with one-to-one tutoring. It's an extraordinary finding, but you'll probably agree with me, it's not particularly surprising. And the problem is, we didn't have the staff back in the 1980s to provide one-to-one tutoring for every student. Now, we still don't today. In fact, it's even worse today. Many universities are struggling financially, and they're responding to that struggle by minimizing staff and increasing student enrollment. The result is the ratio of teachers to students is greater than ever. But the difference is now we have AI, which can actually fulfill that role of personal tutor. Tools like ChatGPT, they're currently free and accessible to any learner with internet access. And that itself is remarkable. A student now has the ability to write a mock essay and then show it to an AI model, along with the criteria, the rubric, the mark scheme. And they can ask the AI to act as a tutor or teacher or an assessor, and it can provide instantly a grade, but more importantly, feedback on the student's work. In other words, what did they do well? What did they miss? What could they focus on to get up to the next grade? Like I said, this can be accessed virtually anywhere at any time, on your mobile, on your PC, outside of the standard 9 to 5 that you would usually be limited to if you were a student going to a professor to try and get some feedback on your assignment. You'd have to go between 9 to 5, and then you would have to wait while the professor does the feedback and sends it to you. It can be a week or 2 weeks. But with ChatGPT or AI models, it's instantaneous. Now, this type of student would also find themselves using AI as a research assistant. It's pretty decent at locating scholarly articles and compiling reading lists on a chosen subject. It can also format your references, something we have for some time delegated to reference management software, things like Mendeley. Now, the benefits of AI will not be exclusively on the students. As educators, we will likely develop our own in-house AI models that will take care of things like grading and providing feedback. And that'll remove easily 75% of our current workload, so we can focus on the more important things, delivery of the teaching. Something that for years now has been widely criticised, and rightly so, by students who are tired of paying thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars just to sit and listen to us read slides to them word for word. And then we give them a figurative slap in the face by providing them feedback on their presentations that says things like, don't read directly from your slides. The lecture should be a remarkable experience where students are first introduced to new knowledge in a well-prepared and choreographed manner. And I believe AI will give us back the time needed to design those experiences for the students, time that we currently use on marking and providing feedback. And that's not just one member of staff, usually it's multiple members of staff, and they overlap, they double mark things, because we know that people can be biased or there can be inconsistencies based on mood and the time of day, how many of them you've marked. But AI doesn't do that. It can mark them all consistently, almost infinitely faster than we can as lecturers. So as educators, we have a huge responsibility here. We can't just sit back and hope that our students spontaneously convert themselves from the average learner style to the intellectual learner. We must explicitly show them how to use AI tools to empower them, to enhance their learning, not to undermine it. Folks, I want to hear from you down in the comments below. What are your opinions on AI in education? Do you use it yourself to further your own learning? Let me know down in the comments below. Look forward to discussing that with you. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.